Hi, good morning, Julie. It's Mike Crawford from NLS Engineering. I just wanted to give you a quick overview and introduction to Centerpiece just ahead of our meeting later this week. So this will kind of give you a summary of sort of what it does, what it is, and the problems that it sort of solves. So originally this was a 20-minute agenda, but I'm going to greatly condense that. We're going to just a quick introduction as to what we're doing and how most people are doing time and expense and budget management and some of the problems that occur. We're going to talk about the solution Centerpiece and some of the before and after results, followed by a conclusion as to how things worked out for us. So NLS, you know who we are, what we do. So on average, we're doing about 175 projects per year, mix of time material, fixed price jobs. On a monthly basis, we're doing about 1,200 time and expense entries, 75 service reports, and 60 invoices. Most companies are doing it the same way we were doing it prior to Centerpiece. Their staff are entering their time and expenses into Excel. They're generating service reports in Word. Project managers are tracking project budgets in Excel. They're basically taking the time and expense entries, consolidating that, and updating the budgets. They're supposed to update those budgets for us on a weekly basis so that when we have our stand-up meetings on Mondays, we can have up-to-date information. And then on a monthly basis, they summarize the budgets and provide them to us in management. Our office admin, she's the one that generates the invoices based on those budgets. She calculates the payroll based on the time and expense entries. So that's how we're doing it. That's how most people are doing it. It's pretty par for the course. Problem with all of that is the disconnected processes and the manual data transfer. So from our staff's perspective, their service reports are rarely matching their time and expense entries. You know, they really struggle with that. The service reports are either incomplete or they're not done at all. They're typically taking a previous one, copy and paste, and trying to update the information that's in it. You know, they're struggling to make sure that everything is accurate. Sometimes they're forgetting to change a client's name or the job number or something. PMs, their project budgets are full of errors, and that's all because of the 1,200 time and expense entries that they need to consolidate. It's just human nature. Anytime a staff changes their timesheet, the budget's now out of sync. We waste a lot of time reconciling the time and expense sheets. So that was a big chunk of time that our project managers are spending. And come those Monday morning meetings, they're struggling to get us timely, accurate information. We need to know exactly where things are at in terms of tasks, in terms of how many hours are left, where's the project budget at. Our office admin, she struggles because the invoice data is always wrong at the end of the month because everything that happened above. And here in management, we're just sort of left with this hazy view of project status and revenues. Definitely a troublesome situation, but not unfamiliar to many service companies. We looked high and low for a solution. We found some that are probably fit the bill, but they were extremely expensive, completely bloated. They have way more stuff in there than we'd even ever need or use. They take a whole team to maintain and run these things. And on the flip side of that, there were smaller applications, little cloud-based and on-premise stuff they use for time and expense tracking. We tried about 5 or 6 different ones of those. They were inexpensive, but it still left us with those silos of information that we had to stitch together manually. So just really didn't do it for us. What did do it for us, we finally found this perfect solution, and that is the solution that is Centerpiece. In Centerpiece, everything is connected and automated. Timesheets, expenses, service reports, budgets, invoices, payroll, everything looks good. Everything's completely interwoven. We do not have any of those previous problems. So in Centerpiece, when staff enter their time and expenses, that automatically propagates to service reports, budgets, invoices. The service reports are automatically generated based on staff notes during their time and expense entries. That was huge for us. Performance multipliers, we needed that because we have some junior staff that work on perhaps higher billable rates, right? So we need to be able to factor their hours either up or down to impact the billable hours. We use a performance multiplier for that. Client invoices, we need those automatically generated. That was an absolute must, and that's what Centerpiece is doing for us. Project budgets, those need to be in sync. So when we have those stand-up meetings, now everybody comes to the meeting knowing where the project budgets are, knowing how much hours they have left in a task, and we can be a lot more efficient in our project meetings. Payroll, staff payroll, that's all automatically generated. It's automatically calculated. And now from a management perspective, we can see clearly what's happening with the company, what's happening with the projects, and what's happening with staff. We can totally pinpoint where wheel spinning's happening. This is time and material and fixed price jobs. We're a service company just like yours. So we need, when you're trading dollars for hours, you need to be right on the ball. You need to know when things are happening, how to reallocate resources, where the problems are, so you can apply quick fixes so we can actually generate money. After about a year of using Centerpiece, we did see some tremendous results. Our monthly invoicing, that was the biggest part of this. 3 weeks down to 2 days, right? That was a fact. That's what happened. Project and staff meetings, they were taking a day and a half. They're now taking 45 minutes. Everybody knows where everything is. Everybody comes to the project meeting. We actually talk about real things that we need to talk about, not, you know, was this right or was that right, or let's update this or that. Staff overhead costs, because of the efficiency we gained, reduced it by about 28%, and subsequently our billable time actually increased by about 36%. Now that people are actually working on jobs and not doing all this unbillable busy work. Corporate and senior management staff, we can see everything. We needed that. We needed to see where staff are struggling. We need to know which staff are doing well, how we can reallocate resources, what resources we have, who's working hard, who's struggling, and how to deal with all of that. And the corporation as a whole. We have a pretty clear picture now of exactly where things are at. In order to make informed, immediate decisions, we needed that up-to-date data. Centerpiece gives us all of that. So it's been really a breath of fresh air for us, and I'm sure it will be for many others as well. In conclusion, we had set out several goals. We wanted everything connected, timesheets, expenses, all of that. That all had to be connected with the budget, service reports, and invoices in one consolidated system. Centerpiece is doing that. Automating the service reports and invoices, another big ticket item that was done. We wanted to really reduce that overhead, and you know, I think 28% is pretty darn good. And the next thing is human error. We know that people are going to make mistakes. We know that somebody's going to go back after they did their timesheet and change it from 6 hours to 4, or whatever the case may be, or maybe they put it on the wrong project. We needed that we knew that was going to happen. We wanted to mitigate the impact of that. So when somebody enters something or somebody changes it, it needs to propagate to the proper service report, to the invoice. Everything needs to be updated. The budget, everything does that. Centerpiece delivers on all that. Mixed and multi-currency, because we do projects internationally. Sometimes we're doing projects in the U.S. and we're buying supplies in Canadian dollars and we're billing, and you know, all those different scenarios need to be handled. Centerpiece handles all of that. The real-time performance KPIs, that was really big for us. We need to be able to spot, like I said, those wheel spinners. We need to be able to spot who's doing what, who has extra capacity, and all those KPIs definitely achieve that. And we were willing to spend about $10 to $25 a month on a solution per user. Centerpiece is on the low end of that at $9.99, so it fit the bill pretty well for us. What we're going to do with Centerpiece in the first quarter will be the commercial release of it. We're going to do some significant improvements to the executive KPI dashboards. And then down the road, in summary, we're going to just implement some mobile time and expense entry. The staff have been asking for stuff like that. A little bit tighter integration with the Microsoft Office 365 and Azure ecosystem. We implement a RESTful API so that you can integrate Centerpiece data with whatever third-party system you want. And then further down the road, we'll be looking at some integration with QuickBooks, FreshBooks, specifically on the invoicing side, and potentially a full web-based client so that folks on a Mac who aren't on Windows 7 or Windows 10 can actually use the software. So in a nutshell, Julie, that's what Centerpiece is and does. I really look forward to demonstrating the software for you. And yeah, anyways, now you have a little bit of an idea coming into the meeting. Thanks, and take care, and look forward to seeing you this week.